out front in the early going. Here comes Hal Goodson around the outside of Conrad Burr. He'll move up to second. David Rudeman moving up to the fourth place position. Hank Parker Jr. rounds out the top five now in the early going. Randy Gentry out of South Carolina going up to the sixth place spot. They complete lap number 2 with Ron Young out front. They head back into turns 1 and 2. Single file formation through about the top 10. Keith Gardner takes a look down to the inside of Ronnie Burkett, that time heading onto the backstretch side.
This is the last 4 more than 3.
Goodson now up to the number 2 spot. Conrad Burr goes third. And the fourth place position, David Rudeman, fine driver out of the state of Florida. And Hank Parker Jr., number 34, rides to the number 5 spot. Down to the inside, a battle for third spot. And it's the number 37 of David Rudeman. Taking a look to the inside of Conrad Burr for the number 3 spot. He won't find any racing room this time. And he'll move back onto the front straightaway in single file formation. 10 laps have been completed and several of our early event laps were run under caution. 10 laps completed with Ron Young, the race leader. Back into turns 1 and 2. He'll open up about a 4 to 5 car lane advantage over Hal Goodson. Conrad Burr, a great battle back at third spot. As they move on to the front straightaway, David Rudeman's number 37 taking a look down to the inside of it. Looks like he got a good run that time on Conrad Burr. He'll pull up side by side to the backstretch side. Hank Parker Jr. will try to move his car up to the number 4 spot as Burr drops back to 5th. They're back into turns 1 and 2. Ronnie Burkett now in the number 31 and Keith Gardner in the number 90. Just outside the top 5 in the running order now as they pull down the front straightaway and into turns 1 and 2. 15 laps completed. Ron Young still out front as they head back into turns 1 and 2. Two-time winner of this event, Hal Goodson rides in second. Number 37 of David Rudeman going third. Hank Parker Jr. rides fourth. Conrad Burr a distant fifth. Then going sixth is Randy Gentry, followed by the number 31 of Ronnie Burkett. The number 90 of Keith Gardner. Then next up we have the number 28 of Billy Bigley. Josh Clemens in the 14. And the number 27 rounding out the top 10, Gary Gilchrist. Gilchrist running the 11th on the grid at this point. Race leaders over at turns 3 and 4. And it's become a 4-car draft for the lead as they head back into turns 1 and 2. Running nearly bumper to bumper as they head into the first third. Coming up on lap number 19 this time around. And Ron Young continues to hold the point. As a matter of fact, in just about a lap or so, they'll be chasing down some slower lap traffic. The first being Keith White out of Higginsville, Missouri. He's the final car on the lead lap right now as they cross the start-finish line. Trent Owens is currently 23rd. As they move on to the back straightaway, the number 26 of Keith White now goes 1 lap down to the race leaders. Hal Gibson in second spot having a little difficulty getting around White. Now pulls around him heading into turns 1 and 2. Trent Owens now going 1 lap down to our race leader, Ron Young. They're on to the front straightaway with 23 laps completed. Excuse me, yes, 23 laps completed as they head back into turns 1 and 2. Gardner, the number 90, trying to get a run going on Ronnie Burkett down to the inside. Nothing doing. Gardner will follow Burkett over to turn number 3. Gene Blooms, number 52, out of Cincinnati, Ohio, the next car to possibly go a lap down to the race leaders. as they move on to the front straightaway. Blues number 52 pulls down to the inside, and Ron Young in the number 4 pulls up to the high side, and he'll put Bloom a lap down.
17 here, you also on
Race leaders back into turns 1 and 2, and it's about a half a lap around now. A little less than that, actually, to our next, the final car on the lead lap. That being Freddie Query in the number 8 out of Mooresville, North Carolina. Points leader coming into the night racing action. Right now, he's the final car on the lead lap, and he is only about a third of the lap ahead of our race leaders. Top 3 cars address the front straightaway. Nose to tail and bumper to bumper as they head back into turns 1 and 2. Got a good battle going on for position. Stephen Christian in the number 0 and Jeff Fultz in the number 86 as they move on to the front straightaway. Behind Stephen Howard and Ken Alexander. Howard will look down to the inside of Ken Alexander, not finding any racing room there. Stephen Christian's number 0 now. Drops down to the inside of Jeff Fultz. They're side by side out of turn number 4. Back into turns 1 and 2 another time. The number 32 of Trent Owens going at least another lap down to the field as our race leader Ron Young continues to lap slower traffic here in the 7/16 mile oval here at Louisville Speedway. 30 laps completed, now 31 as Ron Young puts another lap on the board and heads back into turns 1 and 2. Cal Goodson now, Darlington, South Carolina driver, takes a look to the inside of Ron Young and looked to us like he appeared to challenge for the lead on the backside. 32 laps remaining, and then moving up on some slower lap traffic once again, and Ron Young glides that number 4 up to the outside lane and puts the number 18 1 lap down on the back straightaway side. Scott Kilby going 1 lap down. Here's Ron Young now with a shuffle to the outside of Keith White, heading into turns 1 and 2. White obviously having some handling problems, and the race leader's now going around him on the outside. Keith White some 2 laps down now to the field. Here's Ron Young out front, Conyers, Georgia driver. The Enforcer Best Killers Cofer Brothers Chevrolet, and he's closing up on the Grease Lightning Cleaner Degreaser Chevy of Mooresville, North Carolina's Freddie Query, the final car on the lead lap. Right now, Query's car is stuffed in behind the number 81 of Chuck Winters of Louisville, and Joe Williamson, also one of the local drivers, heading back into turns 1 and 2. Ron Young, our race leader, tags with Freddie Query that time going into turn number 4. Query goes a lap down as Young makes the pass on the inside. Hal Goodson now brings his Chevy up to the outside of Freddie Query and trying to put Query down as well in 1 lap. To the second place running car. They're back into turns 1 and 2. Joe Williamson in the 11 getting past Ken Alexander now. The 81 of Winters with him. As Ron Young now pulls down to the inside of Ken Alexander to put him 1 lap away. 40 laps now completed. Ron Young, the race leader. Hal Goodson runs in second. David Rudiman currently at third. The number 34 of Hank Parker Jr. running fourth. And the number 33 of Conrad Burr rounding out the top 5. Randy Gentry running 6th. Ronnie Burchett going in the 7th place spot. Keith Gardner going 8th. 9th of Billy Bigley. And at 10th, we have the number 27 of Derek Gilchrist. 42 laps now completed tonight here at Louisville Speedway in the Bell South 300. Trouble in turn number 4. Jeep Plume out of Cincinnati, Ohio gets turned around and collected by Freddie Query of Morrisville, North Carolina. And the event will see its first caution flag period at lap number 43. Caution flying at lap number 43 for a two-car incident. Looked like just very minor contact between the two cars up in turn number 4. Jeep Plume of Cincinnati, Ohio in the number 52, getting his car turned a bit sideways up in turn number 4. Freddie Query in the number 52, or excuse me, Freddie Query in the number 8 collected him, but again it looked like minor contact between the two cars. First car down into the pit area though, Mooresville, North Carolina's Freddie Query in the number 8. Current points leader coming into tonight's racing action on the NASCAR Slim Jim All-Pro Series circuit, and it looks like he'll receive service, especially to the right front corner of that car. Five laps now completed as the field files up single file formation behind the Bob Hook Chevrolet pace car here tonight at Louisville Speedway in the Bell South 300. Race fans, we do want to remind you the Beer Garden Bar is open tonight just behind the first turn grandstand area this evening. The Beer Garden Bar is open tonight behind the first turn grandstand area. Here's the number 86 of Jeff Fultz, runner-up in the championship in 1997 on this NASCAR Slim Jim All-Pro Series circuit. Brings the Frankie Grill number 86 Janet King Chevrolet down into the pit area, and it looks like he'll return to action. Louisville, Kentucky's Joe Williamson in the SKR Cleaning Services Chevrolet also returning to racing action. Freddie Query has been in the pits once, and he returns once again. The Morrisville Missile at least one lap down to the field here tonight. Wants to try and gain some ground back on those race leaders, and we know his crew is doing a fine job on getting repairs made to that machine as Query expects to return back to action. Freddie Query's number 8, again an extended stay in the pit area, and has now put that car 5 laps down to the field. Freddie Query's number 8 now 5 laps down to the field for an extended stay in the pit area, making repairs to the number 8, the Grease Lightning Chevrolet. Set to put him back under green again, Conyers, Georgia's Ron Young out front in car number 4. Onto the back straightaway, Young extends his advantage by about 4 car lengths now over Hal Goodson. The number 37 of David Rudiman still in third. Going fourth, Conrad Burr. Randy Gentry in the number 09. Following Conrad Burr onto the backstretch side now in the 6th place position. Ronnie Burchett followed by Keith Gardner. The 28 of Billy Bigley and Eric Gilchrist in the number 27. Great side-by-side racing here as we have the number 34. Hank Parker Jr., former winner here, along the inside of the number 37 of David Rudiman. And he'll pull the number 34 now up to the 3rd place spot. Hank Parker Jr. out of Denver, North Carolina, up to the number 3 position now. 53 laps completed here tonight at Louisville Speedway in the Bell South 300. Trouble in turn 4, one car getting turned around sideways. And it looks like a tremendous pack of cars moved in on him, but however, no other cars were involved, but it brings out our second caution flag period. Lap number 54. Keith Keith White's number 26 got turned around that time in turn number 4. Fortunately, no other cars were involved. As a matter of fact, looks like White may rejoin the lineup. Freddie Query back in the pit area in car number 8. It's going to be a long night for the Mooresville Missile here this evening at Louisville Speedway.
You're probably over. Watch your bike, gang. Don't get caught sitting on the phone. Take care of your grip. Mile backer, guys. Don't get quiet.
Here's our rundown at 55 laps. Ron Young, your race leader. Hal Goodson runs in second. Hank Parker Jr. in third. David Rudeman in the number 4 spot. Conrad Burr goes 5th. At 6, Randy Gentry. Ronnie Burkett going 7th. 8th to Keith Gardner. 9th to Billy Bigley. And rounding out the top 10, Derek Gilchrist in the number 27. That's a look at the top 10. Going 11th on the field, Stephen Christian in the Bell South number 0, followed by New Albany, Indiana's Josh Clemens. Jeff Fultz going 14th on the field. And then the number 25 of David Moyer rounds out the top 15. 37. Joe Williamson in the number 11 in for servicing the SKR Cleaning Services Chevrolet, receiving service to the right-hand side of the car. Joe's down and away and headed back into the lineup.
You better bet.
And Williamson eases out of the pit area just ahead of the pace car, and I don't believe he lost the lap there. He stayed in front of the pace car, and he'll rejoin the lineup. Ken Alexander also into the pits, as well as Keith White in the number 26. They are being held up by the NASCAR official there at the end of pit road. Freddie Query's number 8 in the pit area as well. The number 8 machine not having a good night here this evening at Louisville Speedway. Jeep Bloom's number 52 down on the pit road, as is the number 19, I believe 18, Scott Kilby on pit road as well. Jeep Bloom returning to action now. 58 laps up on the scoreboard.
Small board's a lap ahead. Got it.
Take care of it.
It's my first time.
Ron Young, the race leader, with Hal Goodson running at second, and the pace car's in. We'll go back to green flag racing.
Green flag.
Here's Goodson dropping down to the inside of Ron Young. Going to challenge for that lead spot as they head over to turn number 4. 60 laps completed. Ron Young still out front. Here comes Darlington, South Carolina's Hal Goodson, the defending champion and race winner 2 times here at Louisville Speedway. He takes over the point. Young dropping way back to 4th spot with 61 laps now completed. Freddie Query's number 8 now goes back to the pit area. Wholesale change of positions among the top 5 in the running order. And there looks like there may be a problem on Ron Young's number 4. He continues to back up through the field as the race leaders shuffle up to the outside, heading down into turns 1 and 2. Black flag put out on the number 32, Trent Owens, it looked like. And again, Ron Young is definitely having problems. He started from outside row number 1, led through the first 61 laps of the event, but had a problem with the machine. He continues to back up through the field. He might have dropped the cylinder on that car. Ken Alexander in the 03 also coming off the pace sub. Here's Sean Studer trying to get past on the inside of Young's automobile that has become somewhat of a traffic hazard out there in the final 5 laps or so. Oh, look at this, 3 abreast over in turn 3. As more of the traffic tries to make their way around Ron Young as they head back into turns 1 and 2. Okay, here's the number 25. Dropping down to the inside, David Moyer trying to get around Young's machine. And I think at this point, it looks like Young is just trying to find a lane to get into so that he can possibly take that car into the pit area. Looks like he's got an open shot there and an opportunity to go there, but he doesn't take advantage of it. And Randy Gentry holds down on the inside. Al Goodson out front, Hank Parker Jr. running in second. They move back into turns 1 and 2. The number 37, David Rudeman now in the number 4, the third place spot. Conrad Burr goes forward. Randy Gentry in 5th, going 6th, Ronnie Burchett. Then it's Keith Gardner, followed by the number 28 of Billy Bigley and Derek Gilchrist. Steven Christian now has just moved up inside the top 10 in the running order at 70 laps. Ron Young in the pits and back out once again. Interval between first and second stays at about 3 car lengths. Right now, though, Al Goodson checks up on some slower traffic. Looks to the outside of Joe Williamson heading into turns 1 and 2. And that has allowed Hank Parker Jr. in the number 34 to close in on him. Has cut that interval down to about 2 car lengths. David Moyer's number 25 now to the 3rd place position. David Rudeman in the number 37 going 4th, and at 5th, we have the number 33 of Conrad Burr. Four more remains unofficial right now. Goodson's your race leader in 75 laps. Hank Parker Jr. runs in 2nd. David Rudeman going 3rd. At 4th, Conrad Burr, followed by Randy Gentry in the 5th place spot. Ronnie Burchett going 6th, Keith Gardner in 7th, going 8th, Billy Bigley, 9th, Steven Christian, and at 10th, Derek Gilchrist in the number 27. 76 will make that 77 laps completed here tonight in the Bell South 300. White's number 26 in the pit area and now returning back to racing action with 78 laps completed. You see a haze of smoke following Steve Christian's number 0. He is our 9th place running car, but again we saw a haze of smoke following that car as it came down the front straightaway on the previous lap. Looks like it cleared up though, and Christian hangs on to the number 9 spot, only about 3 to 4 car lengths behind the number 28 of Billy Bigley. Laps completed for our race leader, Hal Goodson, a 2-time winner here at Louisville Motor Speedway, the defending race winner and defending series champion out of Darlington, South Carolina. Goodson out front now putting another lap on Jeep Plume out of Cincinnati, Ohio as they pull down the front straightaway and back into turns 1 and 2. Here's Keith Gardner now in the number 90, moving up to the outside of Ronnie Burchett's number 31. This will be the battle for 6th spot as they move on to the front straightaway. Gardner in the number 90 gets a good run going on Burchett, pulls around the outside of him as they move to the backstretch side. Gardner now moving up and into the number 6 position as they head on to the front straightaway. Ronnie Burchett now back to the 7th place spot. Billy Bigley going 8th. Steven Christian at 9th. And Derek Gilchrist in the 10th place position. Going 11th, we've got Josh Clements. 12th now to Jeff Fultz. Sean Studer going 13th. 14th to Chuck Winders. And David Moyer in the 15th place position. Goodson, the race leader, in a little breathing room now. Opens up between himself and the second place running car of Hank Parker Jr. Goodson opens up a 10-car length advantage over Hank Parker Jr. The only two winners of the NASCAR Slim Jim All-Pro Series event here at Louisville Motor Speedway, now running first and second. Here's David Moyer now, the number 25. 15th place position car though. Laps completed as Hal Goodson leads the field into turns 1 and 2. Pulls to the outside of Jeep Blue. Moves in behind the number 81 of Chuck Winders now as they pull down the front straightaway and back into turns 1 and 2. 93 complete for Hal Goodson of Darlington, South Carolina, the 9th race leader. Moving up behind Louisville, Kentucky's Chuck Winders on the backstretch side. There's the number 18 going a lap down, Scott Kilby, a rookie on the series, out of Statesville, North Carolina, the Southern Insurance Agency Chevrolet Monte Carlo. 95 laps completed. And we're fast approaching the first 100 laps here tonight, the Bell South 300. 94 laps completed. And Goodson now completes lap number 95. Joe Williamson in number 11 down on the pit road for service.
There will be a caution on lap 100 and 200.
Okay. 96 laps completed. Race fans, there will be a mandatory caution flag period put out by NASCAR at lap number 100. Once again, at lap number 100, a mandatory caution flag period will be displayed. Complete for Hal Goodson. 1.44 seconds back to the second place running car of Hank Parker Jr. 99 complete. And caution is just about ready to be put out on the speedway at lap number 100. Goodson putting Josh Clements 1 lap down. As they come down the front straightaway, caution flag comes out, the mandatory caution at lap number 100.
I have 1 and 200.
Mandatory caution being displayed at lap number 100. There will also be a caution flag period displayed at lap number 200. Mandatory caution by NASCAR at lap number 100. There will also be another mandatory caution at lap number 200. Here come our race leaders down into the pit area. Hal Goodson and Hank Parker, the only 2 drivers that have ever won this race here at Louisville Speedway. They're running first and second here tonight. Goodson meets his pit stall about the same time as Hank Parker Jr. Pulling into the pit area. After 100 laps of racing action, here's our rundown. Hal Goodson was the race leader. Hank Parker Jr. was running at second. David Rudiman in the number 37 machine running third. At Fort Conrad Burr, Stephen Christian in the 5th place spot. Going 6th, Keith Gardner. Billy Bigley going 7th. At 8th, Ronnie Bursett. Then it was Randy Gentry going 9th. And at 10th, it was the Derek Gilchrist. Okay. Cars receiving servicing and now returning to the pit area. The number 90 of Keith Gardner still in the pits. And now he'll pull away. Josh Clemens, the number 14, his car appeared to be overheating just before or just after taking the caution flag. Now Ronnie Burkett's number 31 in the pit area. The 11 of Joe Williamson, 25 David Moyer, Keith White, the number 26, the 03 of Ken Alexander, Jeep Bloom out of Cincinnati now returning to racing action. And here comes the early leader of the event, Ron Young in car number 4 returning to racing action. Derek Gilchrist in car number 27 also pulling back onto the track. Here's the number 37 of David Rudeman now. And the number 28, Billy Bigley. Conrad Byrne, 33 into the pits. Jeff Flume returns once again. And Derek Gilchrist in the number 27 also returning to the pit area for servicing. 103 laps completed. Cars on the lead lap on the outside lane, right? Lap cars on the inside. Cars on the lead lap are lining up on the outside lane. The cars that are at least one lap down to the field will be lining up on the inside. 086. Oh, and the number 37 of David Rudeman now down into the pit area for servicing. It looks like to the left rear wheel, but now the car pulls away. Pace car pulls into the pit area. Rudeman's going to try to make it back onto the track. And Hank Parker Jr. leads them back to the green flag. Trouble up in turn number 4. Looks like Stephen Christian's number 0, Chuck Winters in 81 tangled. As they come down to turn number 4, they're coming back to the caution. Coming back to the caution. 106 laps now completed. And looks like Stephen Christian's number 0 and the number 81 of Chuck Winters somehow tangled in turn 4. Winters' car remains tangled up with another machine over out of turn number 2.
Up to the second turn here, the 81, the 98, the 37. Car stop, run straight away. They can get 5 laps back. They clean up underneath you at the west straightaway and also the Best Road. Make sure we leave plenty of room for the cars to get on to the pit.
Jeff Fultz, the number 86 now pulling into the pit area.
30. Record 2, keep on coming around there. You'll see where they're up.
Fultz at this point is on the lead lap, and he was in the number 4 spot at the time that he pulled into the pits.
Carry him and drop him in the center of the X.
Real tough break there. I believe it was Sean Studer's number 98 and the 81 of Chuck Winters that got tangled up over at turn number 2. Part of our most recent incident here. Oh, and the stop sign goes up on Fultz and the 86. Didn't get out in time.
Bear to the edge of that pit wall and just kind of check the drivers out.
Our Suburban Wrecker Service Towing and Recovery team there in the second turn area. Here's our points leader, Freddie Query, having a bad night in Louisville. He's into the pit area and now receiving servicing once again. Looks like they're going to put the hood back on the car. Why is the ambulance rolling? Joe Williamson in the number 11 now into the pit area. 109 laps completed.
Thirty-seven's ahead of the 50. Actually, 110. 110, lap 110. That's right. You're good. If the race ends now, you're fine.
Onto the back straightaway. David Moyer getting back one of his laps. Jeff Fultz squeezing past on the inside. We'll go back under green. 117 laps completed. Louisville's Joe Williamson in the 11 now in the pit area. Received a push from the pit crew and has gotten the car restarted. Hank Parker Jr. out of Denver, North Carolina, the race leader. He'll open up a car length and a half advantage over Hal Goodson as they come back across the start-finish line. Jeff Fultz in the number 86 got back on the lead lap. Now Goodson tries to pass by on the inside. Gardner out of Louisville, Kentucky in the number 90 in trouble out of turn number 4. Gets the car turned around here on the front straightaway. Puts it back in gear and it looks like he'll rejoin the event. The number 26 of Keith White was also involved in a incident here on the front straightaway as we find ourselves back under caution at 120 laps completed. Both David Moyer and Jeff Fultz got themselves back on the lead lap by completing the pass around Hank Parker Jr. after that restart. So some good heads-up driving there on the restart of the event. 121 laps in the books here tonight. Bringing you back all the flag-to-flag coverage of tonight's running of the Bell South 300.
You look like a man enjoying yourself.
Set to go back, green flag racing, Hank Parker Jr. out of Denver, North Carolina, the winner in 1996 here at Louisville Speedway. We'll bring them down for the start. Ron Young in the number 4 gets back one of his laps that he lost early in the going. Hank Parker Jr. still out front. Back into turns 1 and 2. Number 50 of Hal Goodson challenged on the inside by the number 27 as they move along to turn number 3. Got a new second place running car. Steven Christian in the number 0 now moves up to second. Going third, it's the number 27 of Derek Gilchrist.
You want to stay here?
And then into the 4th place position, Hal Goodson. Running 5th, Randy Gentry in the 09. We're back into turns 1 and 2. 130 laps completed. Here's Hank Hank Parker Jr. working on Ron Young as they swing down the front straightaway. Good run tonight for the number 0, Steven Christian. Bell South Chevrolet now in the number 2 spot. Although he has the lapped car, Keith Gardner just ahead of him as they come down the front straightaway. Here's Parker putting the bumper on the number 4, Ron Young, there on the back stretch side. And they head back into turns 1 and 2 with 134 laps complete. Al Goodson's car comes a little bit off the pace and has dropped back to the number 4 spot. One car turned around. It was David Moyer's number 25. Simpsonville, South Carolina driver in the Dolphins and Friends Bite-Sized Cracker Chevrolet getting turned around. He did not make contact to the wall, nor with any other car, and it looks like he'll rejoin the lineup. Caution out after 135 laps of racing action. 137 laps completed. Let's see what happens here as the number 34 of Hank Parker Jr. continues to pace the field. On the backstretch side. And here's Steven Christian in the number 0 making a bid for the lead. Bell South Chevrolet goes out front as they head into turns 1 and 2. Hank Parker Jr. now relegated to second. Going third, it's the number 27. On the backstretch side now to Derek Gilchrist. Then it's fourth at the number 27 machine. Into the number 50 of Hal Goodson. Randy Gentry rounds out the top 5 with Billy Bigley going 6th. Then at 7th, David Rudeman in the number 37. Ronnie Burchett now in the number 8 spot now. And trouble in turn 4 once again. Keith White finding the going rough. Oh, trouble, and it was our one of the top 6 running cars, Randy Gentry in 09 getting turned around in turn number 4. And it looks like we've got some debris on the track in turn number 4. Debris on the track up in turn number 4. And they will be going green flag racing at lap number 150. The $300 Gatorade halfway bonus will be paid at lap 155 if we can get 5 consecutive green flag laps in. Steven Christian out front, Sugar Hill, Georgia driver, the Bell South Chevrolet. Hank Parker Jr. out of Denver, North Carolina, the Cent Racing Chevrolet Monte Carlo, currently in second. Derek Gilchrist of Raleigh, North Carolina, the Hamke Race Cars and Parts Chevrolet, currently in third. And then Hal Goodson of Darlington, South Carolina, the North-South Communications number 50, currently in the number 4 spot. Billy Bigley in the number 28, rounding out the top 5. The Gatorade bonus now. Put out on the field. field at lap 155, and it goes out to the Bell South Chevrolet driver, Stephen Christian, in the number 0, the leader at the halfway point, collecting the Gatorade $300 bonus for the leader of the halfway point. $157 laps up on the scoreboard here tonight. Sugar Hill, Georgia driver. Out front, Stephen Christian in the number 0. Came out of the 18th starting spot here tonight in the field. At the halfway point, he is the race leader. Looks like there may be a problem on Keith Gardner's number 90, as that car appeared to look like it overheated going into turn number 1. And the number 90 now comes off the pace, headed into turns 1 and 2. And the Shoe Carnival Owen Racing Brass Outlets Chevrolet pulls into the pit area. Looks like it may be over with for Keith Gardner of Louisville. 161 laps make that 162 in the books here tonight, the number 0. Trouble out of turn number 2. Hank Parker Jr. making contact to the rear of Ron Young's number 4. Young's car goes on a spin and comes to a rest in the infield area of the backstretch. And Young brings the number 4 back up onto the track. The interval now between first and second is about a dozen car lengths. There's a good look at Hank Parker Jr., the second place running car, and then the third place running machine, the number 27 of Derek Gilchrist. And now Hal Goodson in the number 50 pulling up to the outside of Kid Alexander. He'll bring along Billy Bigley in the number 28 around the outside of Alexander as they move down the front straightaway at 167 laps completed. Race leaders now overlapping Chief Blues, number 52 on the backstretch side. Milford, Ohio's Jeff Fultz having a good run here tonight in the number 6 position. Got himself a lap down early on in the event, unlapped himself. He's back up to the number 6 position. Now Hank Parker Jr. begins to reel in the number 0 of Stephen Christian as they head back into turns 1 and 2. The interval between first and second is about 8 car lengths. Scott Kilby, the number 18, set to go a lap down as our race leaders move around the outside of him as they move down the front straightaway and back into turns 1 and 2. And there's a look at first and second place. And the interval has closed up to less than a car length and a half now as Hank Parker Jr. goes to the whip and closes in on our race leader, Stephen Christian. They're onto the front straightaway and back into turns 1 and 2. Hal Goodson in the number 50 lays back in the number 3 spot right now, and about a dozen or so car lengths behind Hank Parker Jr. Parker's fallen back about 2 car lengths or so on our race leader, Stephen Christian, as they head back into turns 1 and 2. Christian now out front, the number 0, closing up behind the number 32 of Trent Owens as they head into turns 1 and 2. Christian puts left side tires right up on the curb going into turn number 1, puts Owens a lap down, keeps that interval about 3 car lengths over Hank Parker Jr., and now closes up behind the number 11 of Joe Williamson as they head back into turns 1 and 2. Christian moving up to the high side of Williamson, and now Hank Parker Jr. draws alongside as they come down the front straightaway. 181 laps in the books here tonight at Louisville Speedway, and we are 19 laps short of the mandatory caution flag period, which will appear at lap 200. Between first and second, stays at about 5 car lengths. Actually, 0.514 seconds, a little over a half second separating first and second. Freddie Query in the number 8, set to go another lap down to the field as the race leaders move just behind the number 8 machine heading into turns 1 and 2. Christian's number 0, the Bell South Chevrolet, continues to lead the number 34. Hank Parker Jr., the Zip Racing Chevy Monte Carlo. The interval stays at about slightly over a half a second, separating first and second. Top 4 cars now get gathered up down in turn number 4 and move on to the front straightaway. .190 laps completed, and we're 10 laps away from the mandatory caution flag period, which will appear at lap 200. Leaders out at turn number 4. And And we've had another wholesale change of positions in the top 5. And a plume of smoke follows Joe Williamson in the number 11 into turns 1 and 2. And it looks like the engine might have come apart in the number 11 of Williamson going into turns 1 and 2, bringing out our latest caution flag. Caution appearing at lap number 194 after Joe Williamson's car went up in smoke going into turns 1 and 2, putting down some debris on the racetrack. Back into turns 1 and 2 in the number 86. Jeff Fultz continues to lead. The number 0 is Stephen Christian, who has just changed tires on that last pit stop. Currently in second. Then going third, we have the number 37 in trouble out of turn number 1. Ronnie Burkett's number 31 machine, Billy Bigley, and Hal Goodson all get tangled up going into turns 1 and 2. We remain green flag racing for the moment, though. 205 laps shown on the leaderboard. Here's Ron Young in the number 4, dropping down to the inside of Jeff Fultz. Nothing good. Fultz will lead back across the start-finish line as they head back into turns 1 and 2. Up on the scoreboard. Here's Stephen Christian in the number 0 now, making his way past Randy Gentry in number 09. It also has the number 37 of David Rudeman and the number 37 machine back in third spot. Then going forward, we have the number 27 of Derek Gilchrist, followed by Hank Parker Jr., Hal Goodson, and the number 33 of Conrad Burr. Fultz of the 86 now, moving up to the outside of Ronnie Burkett's number 31. They're side by side out of turn number 4 and onto the front straightaway. And Burkett's number 31 machine goes at least another lap down to the field. Burkett being instructed by the racing officials to move to the inside and allow the leaders to pass by on the outside. And Stephen Christian makes the pass on Burkett over in turn 3 as they now move down to the front straightaway. Here's Fultz of the number 86, the Jana King Chevrolet. Lead them back into turns 1 and 2. The interval between first and second place, well over 15 car lengths now. The number 37 of David Rudeman continues now in the third place spot. Derek Gilchrist now in the 4th place position, and then the number 34 of Hank Parker Jr. rounds out the top 5. Hal Goodson running 6th, Conrad Burr in 7th, Billy Bigley in 8th, behind the Randy Gentry. And Ronnie Burkett rounding out the top 10. 215 laps completed here tonight. Ron Young in the number 4 getting back one of his laps. Ron Young in the 11th place position, shown 4 laps down to the race leaders, though, has earned back one of those laps. Chief Blooms, number 52, going another lap down to the field, as Fultz puts lap 218 in the book. There's a look at him. Milford, Ohio's Jeff Fultz, runner-up in the championship in 1997, losing it by only one finishing position down in Homestead, Florida in the season finale. He's got the Jana King Chevrolet out front as he works the back straightaway area of Louisville Motor Speedway. Trouble on the back straightaway. Oh, and it involved a couple of the top 5 running cars. Hank Parker Jr. in the number 34 and the number 27 was also involved. Derek Gilchrist. Hank Parker Jr. tries to keep that car away from the outside retaining wall in turn 4. And the right front tire is down on that machine as he heads towards the pit area. A real tough break for the 1996 winner of this event. Parker's down on the pit road. 221 complete. Fultz out front in that interval. It stays at about 10 car lengths right now over Stephen Christian in the number 0. Number 37 of David Rudeman. Currently in the 3rd place spot, Al Goodson in 4th, and the number 27, Derek Gilchrist in the number 5 spot. Running 6th is Conrad Burr. Billy Bigley now shown to the 6th place spot after a pass around Burr. Randy Gentry shown 8th. Hank Parker Jr. after that mishap has dropped back to 9th. And Ronnie Burkett shown in the 10th place position. All this happening at lap number 224 now. Laps away from a finish here tonight, the Bell South 300. The longest, most prestigious stock car racing event of the 1998 season here at Louisville Speedway. Billy Bigley working the outside of Ronnie Burkett going into turns 1 and 2 to bring along Derek Gilchrist with him, Hank Parker Jr. and Conrad Burr in the number 33. Back onto the front straightaway. Fultz, the race leader. The interval is down to about 8 car lengths though. 28 complete. Stephen Christian bringing the number 0 up, reeling in Jeff Fultz. Sugar Hill, Georgia driver is the number 0. Heading back into turns 1 and 2. Stephen Christian appears to be reeling in Jeff Fultz for that lead spot as they cross the start-finish line and they head back into turns 1 and 2. 232 laps complete. Interval between first and second is at about 0.544 seconds. The number 37 of David Rudeman up to the number 3 spot. Hal Goodson runs 4th. And the 28 of Billy Bigley in the number 5 position. Derek Gilchrist now shown in the 5th place spot. Bigley back to 6th. Conrad Burr in 7th. Stephen Christian now reeling in Fultz as Fultz encounters some slower lap traffic. Really slows that machine down a bunch as he works the outside lane on Ken Alexander out of turn number 4. 236 going in the book. Fultz tops out front, 4 car lengths ahead of Christian now as they head back onto the front straightaway. Joe Williamson is number 11 going 1 lap down now. Rudeman in the number 37 in third spot. And right now he's over a dozen car lengths and 3 lap cars between himself and the second place running car of Stephen Christian. Rudeman to the inside of Randy Gentry. And appears to be pinched in behind Jeep Plume going into turns 1 and 2. He'll follow Gentry to the outside of Plume on the back straightaway. Meanwhile, got a battle for the lead shaping up. Stephen Christian's number 0. Catching up on Jeff Fultz, the top 2 leaders heading to turns 1 and 2. Christian diving down, looking to the inside of Fultz, not finding any racing room there as they head for turn number 3 and they reel in Freddie Query's number 8. 241 complete. Back into turns 1 and 2 another time. Fultz keeps it out front by 2 car lengths. Steve Christian ready to make some ground though up on the back side. Fultz still keeps it at about 2 car lengths though with 2:43 showing on the scoreboard. And Christian bobbles the car a bit that time on the back straightaway. He quickly snaps it back under control. Didn't give up much, maybe a car length or so on Fultz. But again, Christian bobbled the 0 on the back straightaway on the previous lap. Meanwhile, Hal Goodson now is pulled around and into the number 3 spot around David Rudeman's number 37 machine. So now Goodson is back to the number 3 position. 2:46 showing. 54 laps remaining here tonight. The Bell South 300 this evening at Louisville Speedway. Yeah. I'm with you on that. Complete, Fultz, and 4 car lengths over the number 0, Stephen Christian. We want to watch for Hal Goodson in the number 50. Right now, he's tied up a little bit behind some slower lap traffic. The 2-time winner of this event definitely knows how to get to the front of the field. Goodson taking care of the equipment, taking care of the tires, and it all may pay off for him right now, although he is a distance back from the race leaders. 50 laps remaining here tonight in the Bell South 300. Jeff Fultz out of Milford, Ohio, the Jana King Chevrolet leads them back into turns 1 and 2. The number 0, Stephen Christian, the Bell South Chevy, number 0 at second. Hal Goodson in the number 50, the Nortel Chevrolet in the number 3 spot. Going forward, David Rudeman out of Cypress Hills, Florida, Jiffy Lube Chevrolet Monte Carlo in the number 4 spot, while Billy Bigley in the number 28 continues on out of Naples, Florida, the Bill Steeds Shocks Team ASE Chevrolet Monte Carlo in the number 5 position. complete. Fultz still out front. That interval between first and second stays at about 5 to 6 car lengths. Now Goodson in the number 50 is flat coming on now. Chases down Randy Gentry out of turn number 4. Goodson looking to the inside of Gentry heading into turns 1 and 2. 255 complete. And they're back into turns 1 and 2. Scott Kilby's number 18 now going another lap down to the race leaders as they move on to the front straightaway. 2:57 complete. Look back at the number 4 position, David Rudiman. Right now, he's about 10 to 12 car lengths behind Hal Goodson. Got a pair of lap cars between him. And then the number 28 of Billy Bigley is at least a full straightaway behind the 37 of Rudiman's car. Got another battle for the lead again into turns 1 and 2. As Fultz makes his way around Query and chases down Conrad Burr, the number 33. Back onto the front straightaway. And Fultz pulls up to the outside. Look out, there's Stephen Christian. And he'll make the pass on Fultz heading into turns 1 and 2. Fultz was placed in a 3-wide situation and didn't have the tires to handle it. And Stephen Christian has taken over the top spot. We're back into turns 1 and 2 now. 261 laps complete. Hal Goodson in the number 50, reeling in Jeff Fultz now, and that interval between second and third is only about 10 car lengths. Stephen Christian in the number 0, the Bell South Chevrolet goes the way here tonight in the Bell South 300. Good run here tonight for Jeff Fultz, although got a little wide that time going into turns 1 and 2 a few laps ago. Got up into the marbles, gave up that number 1 spot. Doesn't look like he's making up much ground right now on the 0 of Christian's machine. As time begins to run out. 37 there in the number 4 spot. David Rudiman. Billy Bigley's number 28 rounds out the top 5. Derek Gilchrist going 6th. Conrad Burr in 7th. Randy Gentry going 8th. 9th to Hank Parker Jr. Rounding out the top 10, we have Ron Young. Comes the number 0, Stephen Christian now working the outside of Conrad Burr. Not having much luck getting around Burr, and as a matter of fact, Jeff Fultz has reeled in the race leader. In turns 1 and 2, and Christian now completes the pass on Conrad Burr, but Jeff Fultz has really made up some ground on our race leader. 269 complete, 31 to go. Fultz breaks the car loose a bit coming out of turn number 1, gave up about a car length on Stephen Christian. Meanwhile, Hal Goodson in 3rd spot continues to reel in the race leader. The situation right now, Stephen Christian and Jeff Fultz are racing each other and really heating up those tires. Hal Goodson, on the other hand, is in clean air, making his way around Conrad Burr now, and begins chasing down our race leader. He's actually taking better care of his car and better care of his tires. Less than 30 to go here tonight, the Bell South 300. Into turns 1 and 2. Freddie Query going another lap down. Trent Owens in the number 32 also set to go a lap down as our race leaders pull around the outside. Back into turns 1 and 2. Actually, right now we're setting ourselves up for a 3-car battle for the lead to the finish of the Bell South 300. There goes Fultz, looking to the outside. Nothing doing. He'll follow Christian into turns 1 and 2. Here comes Goodson, folks. He's reeling them in. 8 car lengths separating 2nd and 3rd spot. Fultz looking to the inside of Christian as they head into turns 1 and 2. Fultz again heating the tires up a bit, dropping back a bit. And now here comes Goodson, the 2-time winner of this event, at 3rd place, and he's reeling in the race leaders. Folks again taking a look to the inside of Stephen Christian. Nothing doing. He'll follow him back onto the back straightaway. Falls back a car length or so. 276, soon to be 277 this time around. Top three cars nearly bumper to bumper as they head into turns 1 and 2. Okay, Jeep Bloom, Cincinnati, Ohio driver. He'll go another lap down to the race leaders as they pull around the outside and head into turns 1 and 2. Freddie Query in the number 8, just in front of the race leaders. He too will go another lap down to the race leaders as they move into the turn 4 area and back onto the front straightaway. 279. Folks, I tell you what, we're setting ourselves up for probably the most dramatic finish of this race event as Ron Young hit the outside retaining wall on the front straightaway but continues motoring past. Caution out on the Speedway. Yellow flag comes out. Yellow flag comes out for, I believe, possibility of debris on the racetrack, but we'll wait for the confirmation on that. With only 20 laps remaining, we've got a 3-car battle for the number 1 spot in the Bell South 300 here this evening at Louisville Speedway. Cars on the lead lap pull to the outside lane. Cars at least a lap down will restart the event on the inside lane. Once again, the cars that are on the lead lap will start on the outside lane. Ron Young trying to find his place in the restarting field. Dropping in behind Randy Gentry, 09. And it looks like they'll bring him around maybe one more time. Word from the NASCAR officials, 1 to go the next time they come around. 283 in the books. They'll get the green flag at the completion of lap 284.
Where's Scott Douglas right now?
Well, where do you want?
You'll be down there, right?
You going to do it here?
We're just going to do a quick interview and then we're going to do the photos over there.
Okay. We need for Scott Douglas to report to the flag stand. Scott Douglas to the flag stand.
I'm sure he's already.
Advise him to do the celebration over
He
there.
knows that. He told me that.
Field gets set to go back under green as they come out of turn number 4. Stephen Christian leads them into turns 1 and 2. Jeff Fultz in second. Hal Goodson goes third as they clear Hank Parker Jr.'s number 34. Back onto the front straightaway. 286 complete. They're back into turns 1 and 2. Oh, and Fultz and Christian make a little contact coming out of turn number 2. Fultz backs off a bit. Christian holds on to the lead spot. Here's Hank Parker Jr., the number 34. Now Fultz lining up on the outside of Stephen Christian. Fultz getting a good run going, but not able to make much happen there. There's Hal Goodson there in third. Press box. Yeah, baby. They want you to do a short hit. On to the back straightaway another time. Stephen Christian's number 0. Jeff Fultz in the 86. The 50 of Hal Goodson. And don't count out Billy Bigley's number 28. He's likely a distant fourth right now, but still has a shot to win this thing. Coming up on 10 to go, the race leaders move bumper to bumper over to turn number 4. Back into turns 1 and 2. Goodson dropping back about a car length and a half off of Fultz. Fultz gaining up some there on Stephen Christian's number 0. And they move bumper to bumper back onto the front straightaway. Fultz again dives down to the inside, can't make anything happen. He'll follow Christian over to turn 3. 292 complete, 8 to go. Bumper to bumper, the top 3 cars, and once again, Fultz looks for racing room. Goodson wraps the rear of Fultz's car. He bobbles the car, and it looks like Fultz has got a problem as Goodson motors by on the inside and into the number 2 spot. Steve Christian out front now by 8 car lengths now as Hal Goodson moves up to the number 2 spot. Fultz now relegated to 3rd. Billy Bigley goes 4th. And 5th, we have the number 37 of David Rudeman. Christian out front, the number 0. Hal Goodson trying to get his 3rd victory here at Louisville Speedway in 3 starts. 295 complete, 5 to go. Steve Christian moving into turns 1 and 2. And Goodson about 3 to 4 car lengths back. Fultz still at 3rd, about 6 to 7 car lengths back behind Hal Goodson. Less than 4 to go, and the interval is down to about 3 car lengths. Oh, and Goodson backs off a bit. Onto the front straightaway and back into turns 1 and 2. 3 laps to go. The Bell South 300 just about complete here tonight. This was the point where the number 0 of Stephen Christian was leading this event, but then cut a right front tire a couple of years ago. Tonight, he needs to hold on for 2 more laps in trying to fend away Hal Goodson in the number 50. Out of turn number 4, white flag goes out, 1 lap to go. Into turns 1 and 2. And the entourage of the Bell South fans down in turns 1 and 2 are on their feet. To turn number 3, the number 0, Stephen Christian and the Bell South Chevrolet will go to victory lane here tonight at Louisville Speedway. Across the line at 2nd, it was Hal Goodson in the number 50, followed by Jeff Fultz in the number 86. 28, Billy Bigley finishes up in 4th, and the number 27 of Derek Gilchrist rounds out the top 5.
50 back.
Well, I tell you what, I thought our most dramatic event was in 1996 when Hank Parker Jr. won this one. But I tell you what, the finish of this one has to rate right up there as we had the top 4 cars running nearly bumper to bumper for this race event.